Excuse me. So you might have, once you settle, and if you feel like you want to sit for the first part, that's fine too. So as you check in with yourself, just checking in with what you need. I've opened the window here in the studio through the tea room to create some airflow exchange. So if any time you feel too hot or too cool, just let me know. We've also locked the door to secure our space. Just those of you in the studio, just feeling as you orientate your body in space. So this is our proprioception. And whether you're seated or lying down, just invite in the breath to help you ground. And it might be in the nose and out the mouth. And those of you that are joining us online, checking in with the space that you've chosen to practice in. Just noticing if there's anything you need to shift or support your body with to allow yourself to find more ease and safety. As the breath maybe takes some rhythm in the nose, just releasing out the mouth, it might do a sigh or a sound. We call that a cleansing. The other option that we always bring into this class is that pursed lip breath. And that's just puckering the lips ever so gently and blowing the exhalation through the pursed lip, which allows the exhalation to be a little bit more controlled in the length of exhale. So what it does is it lengthens your exhalation. And this brings a little bit more regulation to the nervous system of balancing or calming the nervous system, lowering the energy down. So we are upon the full moon today. So the energy around from the moon and the pull and movement of the water within us is a little bit higher. We may notice a shift or we may not. But whatever part of your body that is making contact with the ground, the earth, the mat, props, if you can settle and let the body receive weight and letting go. You might notice, excuse me, the exhalation now moving out the nose and at times still having space to move out the mouth. Feeling the rhythm of allowing the body to open to receive the inhalation. So that diaphragm muscle, which is our primary muscle in breathing, it is underneath the lungs and about a hand's width, a little bit more than a hand's width above the navel. So it rests on top of all of our internal organs. And a lot of us know on the exhalation, it is domed up in the body. And as we inhale, the diaphragm contracts. And so it starts to pull down in the very center of the diaphragm. And it flattens out and it pushes on the abdominal organs, the large intestine, the liver, the spleen. And this is what allows the belly to expand. The air gets pulled into the lungs, and you might also feel the rib cage expanding. And as you exhale, the diaphragm relaxes back up to rest under the lungs. And the organs in the belly can release back in, the belly deflates. And in between the ribs and inside the body, the internal intercostals gather and pull the ribs down and together. So I want you to notice that the focus, sometimes we focus the inhalation a little bit more on the inhalation, but really the power of the breath is really initiated by our exhalation. So when we exhale, this allows the pressure to lower, and this is what draws the air in. So pressure of the universe, our relationship with the universe and our body, the air always flows from high pressure to low pressure. So at the end of the exhale, we're at a low pressure inside our lungs. And so when we receive the air, the oxygen, our lungs go at a high pressure and they fill and expand. And then we exhale, and the exhalation, you can feel a gathering of your body, the rib cage, the belly. But the diaphragm relaxes. So the diaphragm becomes a relaxed, passive awareness. And the accessory muscles come in a little bit more. I just want you to notice as we just take a few more breaths here, just letting your attention really ride the wave of your breath, feeling open and spacious and receiving that arising of the inhale. Remember, backing off an effort. And then as you exhale, there's a gathering, there's a little bit more effort of gathering, emptying, but we still keep the shoulders relaxed. And for these last few breaths here that we're going to hold our attention on, I want you to see if you can notice if you're only expanding in the front body. Maybe you take some time to feel the front and the sides of the body expand. And those of you that already feel the side body expanding, I want you to see if you can invite your awareness to come into your back body and see if you can feel your back body expanding towards the floor. So this breath eventually evolves into a three-dimensional breath. It's easeful, it's soft, it's fluid, it's full. There's no stress or strain. As we focus a little bit more on the breath, it will help to balance the nervous system, and the thoughts and the mind start to find a little bit more of a rhythm of slowing down. I'm just going to create another half a minute and just going to be in silence just for you to watch what's unfolding for you. Some of you may notice that you're pausing just spontaneously. It might be at the top of the inhale before you exhale. And for some of you, it might be at the bottom of the exhale. There might be a brief moment or pause before you receive the inhale. And this just arises on its own. So if there's a pause, allow the pause to just be there for as long as it wants to. And when you're ready, just slowly start to wiggle our toes and feel the energy start to enliven up through the front of the legs, into the knees, through the thighs, into the lower psoas, the hips. And then just move your heels around. It might be up and down. It might be the heels go from side to side. And that affects the back of the legs. So the back of the calves into the back of the thighs, into the area of the sit bones and the hamstring. And then just pause the legs for a moment and just wiggle the fingers. And notice as you wiggle the fingers, adding the thumb in, how you might even be able to feel energy coming through the wrist, up the forearm, into the elbow, the shoulders, coming right into the chest and the shoulder blades and the back body. And then if you have a bolster like me, you're just going to put your feet on top of it and you can just flatten it down. If you have a strap, you might bring the legs up and take it out. And we're just going to bring the legs up into the body. So you're going to hold either the shins. If that is not feeling great on the knees, then just hold the thighs. Sometimes I'll just sneak my hands even in behind the back of the kneecaps just to create some space. Then we're just going to circle or sway from left to right just to feel how this massages the lower back, the fascia in the lumbar, the hips. You might even just do like a little half moon movement from left to right. You might circle all the way around. And then when it feels right for you, just shake the arms and the legs out in the air. We're just going to do some wrist and ankle circles. So you can have the arms and the legs all the way up in the air, or you can bend the knees, drop the elbows onto the floor and just circle. Go the other direction if you haven't switched yet. Check in with your breath as partnering with everything we do today. And then just one more time, just shaking out. Okay, we're just going to move the bolster if it's still there, just off to the side. Okay, we're just going to take a little elongation through our body. So with the knees bent, you're just going to press the feet into the floor. Just take the hands as the hips lift up off the floor and just take them onto your lower back. And then you're just going to sweep the hands down over the buttocks just to create some length in the lower back. And then we're just going to straighten the legs. So I've put a little foam block behind my head today, so you might also have a little support there. And then you're just going to feel your arms. Do they want to reach a little bit overhead? They don't have to touch the floor. You're going to push through your heels. Okay, I want you to knit the ribs here. So we're going to bring in that SH breath. So you're just going to let your elbows bend a little bit and just SH. So the ribs gather together and pull down. So that's the upper psoas. So do that a couple times. And then when you inhale, I want you to reach up through your arms and down through your legs, out your heels. So I want to be tugging on the back body a little bit more. You can take a few breaths here and just feel all your muscles just contract. It'll be a very soft contraction. And then I want you to exhale and just let go completely. And when you let go, you let the arms bend, drop down. They might come down by your side. They might go out in line with the shoulders. And just take a moment to pause. And then one more time when you're ready, pushing through the heels. So it's really important that we're reaching out through the heels, which is tugging on the back line. As you inhale, reaching up, exhale, just gathering the ribs and just holding the body in a slight kind of awakening of feeling all the muscles just kind of gather a little bit in a very soft way. You can take a few breaths as you hold this. And then when you're ready, just exhale and let go. Ah. Okay, so we're gonna take either one of two options. So if you're feeling that the pelvis does not want to go on the slow-mo ball, then you can put the chip foam block or a folded blanket underneath the pelvis. And so if you have a slow-mo ball, you want to check in with it because it's going to go underneath the pelvis. So if you're feeling that you need a little bit more stability, less air is better. If you feel like you want to get challenged a little bit fuller air works for you. So you might put it under and then just check in with yourself and just pause. So the lower back is now floating. Hands can be on the body or flat on the floor. Under the hips. Yeah. So the lower back is just floating. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so just feel heavy on it. We're just going to do some pelvic tilts to start. So we did this one the other, well, we had a snowstorm last week. So some of you braved it and some of you didn't, but we're just reviewing what we did last week. So we're exhaling and you're going to feel your lower belly draw in and your tailbone and your sit bones are going to scoop up. And so you're going to feel your lower back move closer towards the floor. Because we're on the slow-mo ball, we probably won't touch. And then as we inhale, your sit bones, your tailbone is going to reach down, and this is going to arc your lower back a little bit away from the floor. So you're going to feel an inhalation. And then as you exhale, you're going to allow your sit bones and your tailbone to scoop up. So this is tilting the pelvis back towards the floor. So we call this a posterior tilt. And as you inhale, you're going to feel the front of your pelvis tilt up towards the ceiling. We call this an anterior tilt. Okay, so each time you exhale, you're going to feel the pelvis tilt back towards the floor, the sit bones, the tailbone gently reach up. And at each time you inhale, you're going to feel the sit bones, the tailbone release down towards the mat, the front of the pelvis reach up. You're going to feel your lower back arch. Okay, so I'm just going to come out and you're just going to flow back and forth. I'm just watching to see how this is feeling for you. Yeah. And so your pelvis doesn't come on and off the floor. It just stays rested on the slow-mo ball and you're just tilting up and back, and you're just allowing the slow-mo ball to create a little rhythm for your pelvis. There you go. Good. Okay, so we're going to move into awakening our core now. So we're just going to do that a couple more times. And notice the next two times that you exhale, can you feel maybe that lower belly, which is below the belly button, gathering in and up? And so you might even bring in an S breath. So that's the lower belly, the lower psoas, gathering in and up. So you might just do a few. And then inhale and try that again, that lower belly. And if you find that the SH breath works a little bit better here for you, and it brings both the upper and the lower psoas together and gathering in to the transverse, then do the SH breath. So I just want you to get a little connection to that upper ribs gathering in and down and the lower belly gathering back and up. And your arms are going to be by your side, palms are down. And the next time you exhale, see if you can allow your legs to float up with your knees bent, bringing your thighs towards your chest. There you go. Good. Now, I've got a block because I've got the slow-mo ball, which most of us do underneath our pelvis in the studio. So I'm just going to get you to grab a block. And if you can't grab it easily, I should have cued it for you to bring it closer. Just drop your feet, grab the block, put it in, and then squeeze it to bring the legs up. So this will bring your knees a little bit more parallel. And then we're just going to feel the legs come up. Wiggle them out. If you have any sensitivity in the knees, just drop the block down a little bit. And then we're just going to be with our legs in the air. And I want you to exhale and I want you to squeeze the block. Use the sound, if you want, of that S sound or the SH sound. And just want you to have your legs gently hovered in the air. They can be as bent as you need to. And just finding a little containment here on the slow-mo ball. So each time you exhale and you gather the ribs, the upper psoas, you should feel the back of the ribs leaning a little bit more into the floor. And as you exhale and you squeeze the block and you use that S sound, we're coming into the pelvic floor gathering, the inner thighs, the lower belly drawing in and back. So just take a few breaths here just to feel. We're just letting the energy transfer from our legs back up to our body, into our heart. Good. Now you're going to release the block and see your arms can stay on the floor. Some of you I know like to be challenged a little bit, or you come to the Tuesday class and you're very familiar with the scissor action. You can have your arms in the air comfortably. I have put something a little bit unstable underneath your pelvis. So if not, your arms are going to be flat on the floor. And as you bend the knees, you're going to allow your right leg to come towards your torso and the left leg to move away. Now, this is when you want to bring in your exhale. So you're going to bring in that SH breath, that S breath, feeling stable. And then inhale, exhale, draw the legs together and then separate. Okay, so because you're on an unstable platform for some of you, you might not move your legs so far. There you go. Good job. Those of you that can have your arms in the air, the right arm and the right leg move towards the skull, the left arm, left leg move away, and then you switch. Left arm, left leg towards you, right arm, right leg away. It might just be the legs. It might just be the arms. Go slow to keep awareness in the body. Yes. Good job, Angela. Yeah. There you go. Notice what your feet are doing in the air. Good. Nice, Belinda. It is tricky once the arms go up, right? You think of sometimes reaching up, but you have to think of settling back into the slow-mo ball. Yeah, but it's good to try it. You go, okay, yeah, that was good. I tried it for a few breaths. And you might just pause, shake it out. Some of you might try as well with the arms down still. Okay, you always want to try it first with the arms down. You're going to open and close. So we're going to do inner thigh, outer thigh. So you're going to open. So you might choose, I feel like I need to exhale here. Your choice. And then you're going to gather almost like you're going to squeeze the ball or the block together. I like to exhale when I squeeze my legs together. And then inhale and open. Feel heavy in the pelvis as you open. And then exhale, imagine that you're squeezing a ball or a block as you bring the legs together. So feel it's like a little resistance. Hey, those of you that find just the legs are needed, then you stay here. Remember, if you bend your knees more, it allows more heaviness. You might find more stable. Some of you can open arms and legs together. Okay, so this is challenging for the core. Arms and legs open at the same time. So some of you know this from the fascia release series. So we're just doing a few things to engage the core. When you're on a movable surface, which is the Slomo ball, it really allows you to feel, there's my core. You always start with just legs and then bring in legs and arms. Okay, if you want to do a little bit of right brain, left brain, those of you that got the arms and the legs in the air, you can open the legs, have the hands touching, and then when the legs come together, the arms open. This is working lateral body. And just watching. Good job. Nice. That's a nice variation for you, Elsby. How does that feel on your rib cage? Does it feel okay? Yeah. Okay, when you're ready, you're going to pause and you're going to drop the feet to the floor. Good job, Donna. That was excellent work. Yeah, it was hard work, but it was excellent. You did such a good job. I think that's the first time you've really like been able, to go up on that and feel more balance on it. And so I think that's great. Yep. Okay, so you're going to pull it out. Now you're going to take that Slomo ball, if you have it inflated, you're just going to put it in between your thighs. If not, you're going to put a block there. Okay, so whatever you need. I'm just going to move a little bit away from the wall. Okay, so just take a few breaths just to ground. Feel your feet on the floor. Feel your back body heavy. You might choose to roll the head a little bit from left to right, just to check in with the shoulders, or maybe a little bit up and down, or just rest in stillness. I'm just going to be in stillness today, but if you need to roll your head from side to side, do so. Okay, so I want you to feel very heavy. The back of the skull, the back of the ribs, the back of the shoulder blades, the pelvis. And now you're going to exhale and you're going to squeeze that ball or the block. You can use a sound and you're going to allow the legs to float up towards you. So knees are bent, thighs are coming towards the body. Arms are down by your side. I like to have palms down in this one, but you might choose to do palms up if you need a little bit more space coming into the chest. Okay, so we're going to go into our core twist, which we've been working on. So each time you exhale, you're going to bring your legs over to one side. You're going to start going towards camera. So you might start right, and then you're going to inhale. See if you can keep that gathering to use your abs to bring you back to center. And then inhale, exhale. Squeezing that ball, checking in as you float to center, to left, to center, to right. And I'll show this as I come to camera. Let's see if I can hover here. When you start, you should be able to feel like if you were to put a platform or a platter on your knees, that you should be able to balance something on your knees. But as you go to the side, that should still be maintained. So sometimes I see, and I've had this in myself as well, where you'll drop one knee down and so it becomes slanted and you're not level anymore. Okay, so you want to make sure that as you go from side to side, that you're level. So if you go to the side and you notice one leg or knee is lower than the other one, then you need to lift up through that outer hip and engage the muscles on the outside of the hip. Good. Some of you have taken the block, if you've had the Slomo ball, in between the legs and you put the block in between your feet, which is really helpful. So you might try this. As you squeeze, you have something for the feet to squeeze and then something for the legs to squeeze. Your head can stay in center or it can flow from side to side. Okay, when you go to one side, the last part is when you exhale, you squeeze and you bring the legs up, the thighs towards the torso. So it's almost like you're drawing a little U shape or a smiley face. Yeah. And then some of you know the intermediate version. When you go to one side, you might allow the shins and the feet to extend, almost like you're going to kick a ball in space. And then you rebend, inhale through center, exhale. We're just starting out with a few things to activate the core and nourish the fascia. And some of you know this if you do the fascia release series with me. If not, I bring these ones into classes all the time. Good. When you feel ready, just take a moment to pause. Keep the legs towards your chest for a moment. Just pause, hold them if you need to. Shins, back of the thighs. Okay, this next one we're going to go right into it, is we're going to do what's called a toe dip. And so when you toe dip, you can keep the block in between your feet. Just adjusting mine with my feet. That's quite fun. Okay, so you might even watch too. So when you inhale and then exhale, you're going to try to touch the floor. And some of you might touch, some of you might not. And so you toe dip. If you have a block there, my block is touching. But when you go towards the floor, if your ribs start to pull away from the floor, then I want you to stop there. Bring that SH breath in, gather, because your back ribs need to be glued towards the floor as you touch the ground. So you don't even need to come in. And then you're going to inhale and bring your legs up. So it becomes exhale. You might touch, you might just come above the floor, then inhale up. So it's called a toe dip. Yeah, just a couple more. I'm just going to watch you. Imagine that there's a little kind of bucket of water. Ah, there you go. Good. Nice, Tina. Good. And then you can take a break whenever you feel ready. Good, Mom. Squeeze that ball a little bit more when you go down. Don't lose that squeezing. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Yeah, better. Good. You're going to pause. You can take the block, the slow-mo ball out. Let's do a few axial rotation. So arms can be at whatever distance. You're going to exhale. You're going to let the legs come to one side. So I want you to have your feet the width of your mat. That will help bring space in. And then you're going to gather the ribs as you come in. You can go as little to the side as you want. And some of you, I know the legs can release a little bit more. But you want to gather that SH breath. Okay, when you go to each side. And then you're going to inhale to center. Okay, feet nice and wide. Exhale. Bring your legs over to the other side. Do your SH breath. You might hover and rest here. Arms are out to the side, palms up. Inhale through center. Exhale. Just flowing from left to right. Good, nice. Head can be in center or it can move with the legs. Up to you. Good. Donna, I'm just going to get you to widen your feet so they're nice and wide, almost the width of your mat. So even a little bit more if you can. There you go. Perfect. Yeah, see how the body can open up a lot more in that position? Good. So some of you know these when we go into these wiper movements, which I'm wanting to link two poses together that we're doing separately right now. And so this movement, when you have yourself, you need to be in the very center of your mat. So if you notice you're closer to one side than the other, you want to try to find that you're in the center and your feet are the width of the mat. Okay, with the arms out to the side, palms up. And then when you exhale and you bring your legs to one side, I'm going always towards camera, but you might go to the right first. Okay, you're going to feel the ribs gather and you feel the thigh bones gently pull up into the hip socket. And this is because the lower psoas is gathering. And then you just relax the upper body, the shoulders. This is a release pose, and it's called the ones. And then I want you to gather on your exhale and see if you can gather your core to float your legs back up to center. There you go. Good. Yes, you've got it. And then if you want to watch for a moment, you can. And as you exhale, you go to the other side. Keep connected the whole time. So you're not just letting go, you're keeping your core connected. You might have an SH breath or an S breath. You're keeping the ribs gathered, upper and lower psoas engaged, but then you're relaxing around the integrity. Okay, so no discomfort should be felt. If you feel pain anywhere, it's a signal to you that you need to bring a little bit more integrity in gathering the ribs, going down. You can take an SH breath. And then I want you to use your exhale, gather your core, and see if instead of lifting your legs to center, you can float the legs back up to center with gathering your core muscles. Good. I'm going to go one more time to the right and one more time to the left. Each time you come back into center, that's your home base. So I'm just going to go a little bit quicker through this next one. Just go to the right, center, use your core, use your sounds. Left, center. Good. Nice. There you go, Angela. Really good. Okay. Now you're going to take your block or your slow-mo ball and you're going to put it in between your thighs. Feet are hip width apart now, so you're going to walk them in a little bit because they were quite wide. Okay, so now that we've activated the core, we're going to interlace our fingers very softly and then just bring our chin to our chest and just create a little hammock around the base of the skull. So I'll sit up so you can see. So you're not in your neck. You kind of got your thumbs on that ridge of the skull. So this is the occipital ridge. And then the fingers are interlaced on the back of the skull. So you're creating a little hammock for your head to rest in. And you want your fingers and your interlace to be quite soft, and that will relax your shoulders. Okay, so we want to be using our core rather than gathering our shoulders. And then you want to bring your elbows a little bit more towards the skull. Okay, and relax the ball of the shoulder down into the socket. Now widen your shoulder blades. You're going to spread your shoulder blades. This is helpful when you inhale. Widen the shoulder blades. As you exhale, root the feet into the floor, squeeze the ball or the block, use your S sound or your SH, and see if you can float up by imagining that you have a string on your upper sternum, lifting the middle upper spine head. At the very top, you're going to inhale and exhale, and you're going to relax your head back into the sling of your hands, separate your shoulders, and then roll back down. Okay, so you're going to root feet, squeeze the ball, use your sound if you need to, press the lower back, middle back into the floor. See if you can pull up through the front of the chest, almost like you have a string on your sternum. Relax your head at the top as you inhale, widen your shoulder blades. Some of you will feel your elbows reach up a little bit to the ceiling. And then I want you to control your lowering down. So this is strengthening our upper transverse abdominis and our upper psoas. So try it again a couple times on your own. Feet root, exhale, squeeze the ball, root the back into the floor. Feel like your upper torso, head, arms float up. Take an inhale and exhale at the top. Relax your head, widen your shoulder blades. Some of you will reach your elbows up towards the ceiling a little bit more. Good. Relax your head. Good. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to pause for a moment. So one thing, now this is going to show you how many of you feel that when you get up to the top, that when you relax your head, you notice how much tension you're holding in your neck. Do any of you guys feel that? Just wiggle your fingers at me if that's the case. Okay, good. And so that shows you whenever you're lifting up, you're reaching your chin forward. We're doing what we call a little turtle. So you're doing that to try to bring yourself up. And so when I said relax your head, you're relaxing your head. And then you notice I say spread your shoulder blades. Right? When you spread your shoulder blades, also that reaching up through your elbows is you're reaching up through your tricep. So this muscle here is your tricep muscle. And so when you do that, it attaches onto your shoulder blades. And it helps you to feel a little bit more stable. So one thing we're gonna do, hey, you might just go back to do exactly what we just did, okay? Because it is a lot of work. And I'm just gonna show you for a moment. So you're gonna squeeze, float up. And as I'm coming up, I'm pressing my back ribs into the floor. And so I'm exhaling and I'm rooting my back ribs and it just kind of floats me up. I can feel relaxed. And then I just let my hands float away from my head and I think, okay, yeah, that's relaxed. Okay. And then you're going to lower down. So let's just try that a couple more times. Try to root your feet, squeeze the ball, exhale, use a sound, press your back in. And some of you might even feel, oh, I can lift my hands away. My head's relaxed, and you might even reach one arm towards your thighs and the other arm, and you might just touch your thighs and then bring it back and lower down. Okay, so this is some core work. We're going to be expanding on this. So squeeze, root, push the back into the floor. Some of you might just let the hands float away a little bit. Some of you might be able to reach one hand, the other hand, keeping the head relaxed and the neck, and then back and lowering down. So I'm just going to watch one. Rest if you need to. It's a lot of work, right? Is it? No? Yes? Okay. Too much work? Okay, we're going to relax in a moment. Okay, pause. Questions. Is there any questions around that? I just want to make sure. No, the pelvis stays on the floor on that one. So it's only the upper torso that's lifting off the floor. So if I'm to show you on the side, Elsby, I'm pushing back into the ribs and pushing my pelvis into the floor and I'm lifting up. See, my pelvis stays very anchored on the floor. And then it becomes more of that. So this shows you, so we've been talking about the upper psoas and some of us notice, oh, my upper psoas isn't as connected, right, as my lower psoas. Yeah, there you go, Megan. Yeah. Pushing to rise up. Exactly. And so it's the opposite, right? Yeah, without using the neck and the shoulders to do it, right? And so it's a relearning. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Good. Some of you are still practicing it and still playing with it, which is great. Yes, Elsby, that's it right there. And just relax your head a tiny bit at the, there it is. Good. Yes, Gloria, you got it. Nice. Yeah. Okay. Because I've been playing with the core sequence that I want to teach you, but this is the first part. So you have to have this part because when we let go of the head, you have to be able to keep the neck relaxed as we do the other part of it. Arms come into it, legs come into it. So I don't know, I like to play and create new little series for you. So I'm just kind of layering it on so that you can practice this one and then I'll layer it on next week where we're evolved. Okay, so let's release now the torso arms. So you're going to take your strap, you're going to unloop it, and you might just fold it in half. You still have the slow-mo ball in between the legs. You're going to bring your arms up and you're going to tug the strap apart and you want to find shoulder width. So shoulder width is a lot wider than what you think. So sometimes when we bring it up, we're a little bit more narrow, but I want you to give yourself more space, especially if you have a shoulder injury. And you want to check in that the wrists are in neutral. So sometimes we curve the wrist in, we call this inversion, or we curve the wrist out, we call this outversion, or we pull the wrist back. Okay, this is going into extension. So I want you to try to feel a neutral wrist. So notice if we're doing any kind of funky stuff in the wrist, because that's going to affect your shoulders. So you're going to gently pull the strap apart, lower it down, so it's resting on the thighs. Feel your feet. Are they hip width apart? Some of us need to go a little bit wider. So we're going to be going into bridge now. Okay, so we're going to inhale. So first we're going to do the arms, pulling the strap apart. Arms come up, exhale. Keep the shoulder blades broad as you go overhead. Don't worry about if you're not touching the floor. Relax your chin down towards your chest. Before you lift the arms up, hold the strap apart. Feel how that widens your shoulder blades. Root your feet, squeeze the ball. Let your arms float up and back down. Use any sounds, core connection that you need to. You're flowing, arms up, overhead. When your arms go overhead, chin goes towards the chest. Rib cage should stay on the ground. Widen the shoulder blades. Pull the strap apart before you lift your arms up and back and down. Use your feet. Keep squeezing the ball. Keep the shoulder blades widening. And feel how all of our focus is very in tune with our body right now, which is lovely. You're noticing what's happening. Okay, so the next time you go up and back, and then the arms come back down, you're just going to let the strap go and just let it rest on top of your belly. We're going to pick it up in a moment. The arms are just going to go down by your side. We're going to go into bridge pose now. So you're feeling all the pads of your toes, okay, all 5 of them. They're rooting into the floor. Your heel, you have that inner heel and the outer heel. And then you have the top of the heel and the back of the heel. So you want to feel all the toes in the whole circle of the heel, especially inner and outer, root down into the floor. And then there's a pelvic tilt. So remember when we did our pelvic tilts and our pelvis tilted back towards the floor, the sit bones reached up as the feet root and the pelvic tilts back and the sit bones and the pelvis, tailbone float up. Your pelvis should lift off the floor. It just floats up. Okay? You have an evenness of pressing through inner heel, outer heel, chin comes towards the chest. Just hold here. Notice which toes are not activating. Can you feel your inner heel, your outer heel, your pinky? Good. Now slowly lower the pelvis down. Feel each vertebra through the middle, spine, lumbar, pelvis, then touch the floor. And then you're going to exhale, root your feet, squeeze the ball, pelvic tilt the pelvis back. That will scoop the sit bones up and the tailbone. The pelvis will just float up. Chin towards your chest, your throat. Feel the width across your collarbones. Lower down, nice and slow. Feel each vertebra touching the floor. Good, one more time. Root down, toes, pelvic tilt back, sit bones, tailbone scoops up. Now notice, can you feel that you have equal space in between both sit bones? Sometimes we squeeze the glute maximus so much that the back of the buttock squeezes and it pulls both of our sit bones together. We want to feel wide. We want to feel that we can still have a little internal rotation, but we're rooting the outer heels as much as we're rooting the inner heels. And now just bring your hands up. You can grab the strap on your pelvis that's floating in the air, pull it apart, and some of you may choose to bring your arms up, overhead, and maybe back a little bit. Sometimes when we're levitated, we can feel that the arms might become closer to the floor. Some of you may choose to hover here and stay. When you're ready to come out, the arms start up first, pelvis lowers, arms and pelvis lower together. Okay, we're just going to do one more of those. You're going to feel an exhale. You can keep holding the strap this time. Press toes, heel, pelvic tilt back. Arms and pelvis are now going to float up together. Inhale, exhale, overhead. Don't forget to widen the shoulders. Good, you stay there. Keep your toes, Candace. There you go. Reach them over those toe spaces. There you go. You come out and down whenever you're ready. Good. You're going to let the strap, once you're done, off to the side. And take out the slow-mo ball. And grab hold of the legs. Rock from left to right. Onto the shins or the back of the thighs. You can sneak the hands below, behind the knees if you need to. I'm just going to pause here. Okay, so we've been doing quite a bit of strengthening. So we're going to release now with our leg stretches, and then we're going to do some shoulder ball rolling to end the class, just because I want to make sure that you don't walk away with any tension in your shoulders. And we were asking a lot of the body today. So you're going to have both feet on the floor. You're going to grab hold of your strap. You're going to ask body, hey, I know when I go into my leg stretches, I'm just going to grab my block. It's a little far away. Some of us like to use our 4-inch block. It's beside your left side. Some of us like to use the slow-mo ball beside our hip. So you have things on your left side, options here, because this is when we go over, right? And we have the leg over, you might have an option where you put the slow-mo ball underneath the hip. Some of you I know like to slide the block in between the thighs. Okay, so you're just having it there just so that we're using it when we need to. So we're going to draw a right leg up. I'm going to put the strap around the upper part of the foot. So at the base, the big toe, the pinky toe, slide the hands down, elbows on the ground. Let your shoulders go. Check in. Do I need a little support, a chip foam block? Ours at the studio now have some covers on them to support the head. Sometimes levitating the head a little bit on a block allows the shoulders to let go. So just really wanting the shoulders to find ease. Okay, little bend to the knee. Remember, you're pushing the foot up into the strap and a gentle tug down on the strap. So we're evening the push and pull. Now we're going to circle. So we're going to circle the leg in the air. So you can start by allowing the foot to be the guide and the whole leg. And the foot and the leg are circling in the strap, and the hands are just passive. They're just gently holding the strap. And then you can let the foot and the leg be a little bit more passive and use the hands to circle. And so the leg is just going for a ride in the air. And ask yourself, which one feels better for me? Is it the leg moving, or is it the leg being passive and allowing the arms to circle? And then you're going to switch directions and you're going to do whatever feels good. You might do both. You might just do one variation. For me, my leg wants to be passive and my hands and my arms are choosing to do some work. But you might feel, oh, I just want to relax the shoulders, and you might just allow the legs to circle. Good. And then you're going to pause and keep aware of that left foot. Okay, so you're not going to let the left big toe come off the floor. It's going to want to. Okay, as you exhale, lower that right leg down in the strap. It's going to be above the floor. And then you might inhale and draw it up. Use the core to gather. Use any sounds that you need to. Some of you might exhale down. Inhale in a hover, and then exhale, use your core to float the leg back up. Your choice. 2 variations here. I always like to use the core to float the leg back up. Soft hands. Quiet neck and shoulders. One more flow. Good. Now you're going to grab both the straps in your left hand. You're going to inhale and you're going to start to roll over onto your left side. So this is when you're going to ask body, do I need some support underneath that bottom leg? The closer you put support to the hip, the more you're going to levitate off the floor. If you put the support closer to the bottom of the thigh and the leg, the more you're going to twist over. Some of you feel comfortable just to let the whole leg, that left leg, come on the floor. Okay, if you want, you can put that block in between the thighs and it will allow your top leg, which is your right, to go across Now, find your core because you're not fully relaxed. You've got a little integrity here. So gather in, find some integrity, and keep that as you relax around that integrity. Some of you, your hands will even soften, and you won't even need to hold the strap. Your arms might be out in a T. You might have your head looking towards that right leg. There's a reaching through your right heel to tug on that back line. Some of you might be looking up to the ceiling with your gaze of your head, or the head might be the opposite direction, looking over your right arm. Eyes can close. Okay, keep feeling the thigh bones drawing into the hip socket. That's lower psoas engaging, lower belly. Left foot might have a little bit of leaning into the floor, so that might be your pinky, your fourth toe, your third toe. The side of the outside of the foot might just press a little bit in the floor. And we've done this one a lot. So some of you have a deeper relationship with it. If your body says, ooh, I'm ready to come out, you always follow that and come out. Remember, both feet go up into the strap in baby pose. My body's just asking to hover here for just a couple more breaths. You can take out the support, use your core to float back to center both feet in the strap, widen them as much as you need to, bend the knees, rocking into baby pose. Some of you might want to go a little bit deeper and grab the ankles or the toes and just let go of the strap for a moment. Go into a deeper baby pose without lifting the lower back and trying to keep the pelvis as heavy as you can on the floor. Sometimes if you're holding the feet or the toes, you want to pull down on the toes and press the feet up into the hands, and that will create an action where you'll feel your lower back drop into the floor a little bit more. Beautiful. When you're ready, you're going to pull down on the strap, let go of the feet, draw the legs together, sneak that right foot out, check in with your support. What worked on the other side? What do I need for the other legs? You might switch that now before we go into it. Elbows on the floor. A little bend of the knee, evenness of pushing up into the strap, gentle tugging with the hands, but the hands are soft, shoulders relaxed. So you're either circling with the leg guiding the movement or the hands, arms. Notice the integrity of the right foot, your right big toe. And inner heel should be anchored on the floor. That leg is going to want to wander off to the side, the right leg. Make sure you're switching directions with that left leg in the air. Good, nice. Your circles can be as little as they want to be. Sometimes they're a little bit more grand. But always ask yourself, is that serving me? Okay, when you're ready, you're going to move into the inhale, exhale, lowering the leg down. Keep the foot pushing into the strap. Okay, use your sounds, keep that right foot anchored, and then you can inhale, float the leg up, or take an inhale as you just pause on the bottom, and exhale, float the leg up with use of the core. Now, as you're doing this one, I want you to notice, is your right hip as heavy as your left hip? Both hips equal. Nice, Belinda. Hey, you do as many as you want. When you're ready, that left leg comes in the air, that right hand grabs the strap, you inhale, you exhale, you're bringing your right leg to the floor, you're twisting as you bring that left leg across the body. So you're lying on the right side of your body. You're either supporting that lower leg with the slow-mo ball or the block, or you're putting the block in between the thighs. I've got a wall here, so I'm using that for support. Soften the hands. Exhale. Pull the thigh bones in. That's your lower belly. So that's that S sound. That's allowing that lower psoas to engage, to feel the relationship of the ball of the hip into the glove of the socket. That'll connect you then into feet to pelvis, and then pelvis to ribs, ribs to sternum. Arms can be in a T. The softer your hands become, the more engaged you are in your core. So remember, you have integrity and you're relaxing around that integrity. So there's always a level of engagement there. We're never completely letting go. Okay? When you find that level of integrity that's always there, you can relax around it and it becomes very integral but spacious. And so we always play with those two opposites. That steadiness, integrity, which is sthura in Sanskrit, and sukham, and ease, joy. Okay, whenever you're ready to come out, your call. Inhale, exhale, use your core to bring yourself out. Remember, we want to be aware of what we're doing in our transitions, ending in baby pose. When it's complete for you, we'll be at different intervals. You're just going to release the strap. Take a moment. You might have your legs straight. You might have your knees bent. You might have a little wiper movement. Okay, so we're going to just finish that up for a moment, and we're going to release the shoulders. So just take a moment to feel what is needed for you. And so you might have either a squash ball or a pink ball or a spiky ball, whichever one works for you. So going to be a couple options just to end the class off today to release the shoulders. So you're going to be lying down. I'm just seated for a moment just to show you. So some of you know you can be lying on your back and you can just check in with yourself. And some of you might go, oh, I need to massage the front of my chest. Okay, so you go into that both sides. The other option is to take one of the balls, and you might even have two. So let me know if you need two, if you want to do two. I've been sometimes just doing one at a time, but you're going to sneak it, excuse me, behind the upper shoulders. Okay, so you might have the squash ball, you might have the pink ball. And so you don't want anything behind your head. Okay, and you're just going to sneak that underneath the top of the shoulders. And you might even go a little bit lower down. Maybe it's by the shoulder blade. Okay, the small squash ball, if you don't have one, let me know. Yeah, two pink balls are great. Does anyone else need a squash ball or a pink ball? Yeah, that's good. Seamus, yeah, you're doing good over there. Okay. So you're just going to ease into it. And then you're going to ask your body, do I want to move? So some of you might bring your arms up and do what we call a basket arm, and you might move them around side to side, up and down. Other option is if you're just feeling one side. So if you have the ball underneath your right arm, right shoulder, then you can just move that arm up and down. Sometimes I like to even just rest the arms just over the head. Sometimes you can just sink them into your side. Okay, so we're just going to be here. This is our ending practice. You can keep moving the ball down, so you can be from the top of the shoulders to in between the shoulder blades. You just want to be off the spine, so either to the left or the right of the spine. If you need anything, let me know. Yeah, how's that feeling? Feels like you've got a good spot in your shoulder, yeah? Yeah, it's right inside of the shoulder blade, right? It feels like. I think you're in a heaven space right now, Seamus, no? All that computer work you've been doing. Yeah. Beautiful. I'm walking around if you have questions, if you have inquiry on where you should be. I am here for you. Yeah, and that's okay because sometimes you have to kind of move around. So if you want to move the ball down, all you have to do is push your feet into the floor and scoot you up this way, right? And you can scoot up and then the ball will lower down. And then sometimes the lower you go, you might need to pop something under the head if you need to. Okay. So this is your sweet spot, Tina. Yeah. Yeah. And I've been playing with the little squash ball, and I really love the squash ball. As I go down I call the inside of the shoulder blades the ridge of the shoulder blade. So the ridge and then the spine, and just kind of going down. I've been playing around. Yeah, like it feels so good there. I was like, oh, I really like this one. Did you need a ball or you got yours? Yeah, yeah, good. Okay. Make sure you move on to have space to do the other side. So usually roughly we want to spend about 2 to 3 minutes in one spot, and then you want to move on. Even if your body says, oh, I want to go deeper, we don't want to ever go too deep into one spot because we don't want to bruise the fascia in any way. Because remember, the fascia is innervated with nerves and receptors that are communicating with our nervous system and our immune system and allowing an emotional response. So check in with yourself on what's needed and then just pull the ball out. So some of you have even moved to your hips because your hips were calling for it a little bit more rather than the shoulders. So you feel free if the hips are needed more. But make sure that you just bring the ball out for a moment. And if your body says, oh, wait, I need another minute or I need another few breaths, then always follow that. But always pause without anything underneath you for a few breaths just to check in from left to right before you bring the ball in. Okay. And then you bring the ball in, and then there's a pause to exhale on the ball to find the relationship before you start moving. So take that beat. Okay, just to check in, and body will always say, yep, that's a good place, or it might say, move it down, move it up. Okay, and so keep pausing and checking in with yourself. Good. Yeah, and some of you might just be ball rolling exactly like that, and that's a great tool just to do it on the neck with the hand. And I know we've explored that one and talking about that, and I think that's a really nice one. It feels like, yeah, it feels like it really resonates with you. So remember, you can always take the ball and just ball roll neck, chest. If you're ball rolling through the neck, we just want to be mindful that we have all the cervical and the brachial nerve plexus that comes off of the cervical vertebra here. Yeah, some of us are going into ball rolling in the hands. I'm just giving you just a couple more minutes here. So it is a minute or two before we hit 10:15. So if you know you have somewhere to be, then just take a minute just to pause and rest. And if you need to transition right away, then just make sure you have a moment to pause before you back up and transition. If you feel like you can hover here for another 5 to 7 minutes, then just stay where you are. going to use these last 2 minutes to finish up our ball rolling. And if you're already done, you're moving into Shavasana. Okay, and Shavasana can be on your side, on your back, legs up the wall, legs on a couch if you're at home, or a chair, a bolster, flat on the ground. Any movements that are needed, you take that time. Yes, it's calling you. Yeah, I know. I could see you pause for a second. I was like, yeah, you want to go, Candace. It's calling you. Yeah, and you can even come this way if you want. Yep. Yeah, and it will be totally fine to be that way and slide in. That works perfectly. Did you lose something, Belinda? Okay, I was like, I can help locate it for you. I know. Sometimes we have a lot of props and we're like, I'm not too sure where I put that one. Hey, so we did a practice today where we asked a little bit more of our core and we stayed connected to the earth to find that earth energy to nourish and ground us. So as you start to settle into stillness, and you ask the body what support it needs, what layers it needs to stay warm, the breath inviting it back in through the nose, out through the mouth, maybe in a sigh or a sound or a pursed lip breath. At your rhythm, at your timing, you feel your breath just drop into its own flow. Notice where your body is meeting the earth, letting go into the gentle support of Mother Earth. You might float back in and just feel the arising of pauses happening, maybe spontaneously at the top of the inhale or at the bottom of the exhale. Or maybe the breath is just fluid with no pauses. This time at the end of practice is for integration. It's to notice what accompanied us when we first arrived today in our practice. You might still know that it's there, but how have things shifted? Sensations in body, thoughts or emotions in mind. Maybe some tools that we offered today really sing to you, that you feel are a part of you touching into your practice over the next week. I'm just going to read a piece today called A Sweet Voice. The energy pulls sharply around the mind. Clamor of thoughts are played out, and the full moon gaining in strength. The breath takes hold of attention with a gentle guiding hand. The breath takes hold of attention with a gentle guiding hand. Shoulders release the weight of self-pressured expectation. Shoulders release the weight of self-pressured expectation. A sweet voice reminds us of our wholeness. A sweet voice reminds us of our wholeness. Be here for one more minute. Notice the tools for this awareness, for this exhalation that's coming in, of bringing you into the body. And remember that integrity that we built today. You start to wiggle the fingers and the toes. You're just going to hear a little movement in the studio. Just take your time. And then wiggle the fingers, feel that connection up through the arms. Here at a stretch, a lengthen, a yawn. You might transition to a side. We're going to hear the door open just for a moment and close again. Take a pause, a few breaths. And at your rhythm, you're just going to come up and sit. And so you sit however you want. It might be cross-legged, it might be kneeling, it might be the legs straight. And just make sure that you have enough space just to allow your arms to flow. Palms, if you can, face forward. Lifting through your heart center, rooting down through your pelvis. And as we exhale as a group together, let's let it out our mouth. When you inhale, your arms float up, your desired height, palms come together. And then exhale, feel the energy come down through the skull, through the heart, the pelvis, touch the ground. Feel that earth energy rise up as you scoop it around, receive it down through your skull, through your heart, through your pelvis. One more time as you feel your hands touch the earth, and just pause with your thumbs around heart center, touching this area of your body with your thumbs, the chest. Eyes can be softly closed still as we just pause in the remnants of the heart. And the heart is linked to the breath. As we found today, we focused on the mind and the breath, and that place where each time we exhale, we gather into sthira, integrity. Some of us like to even feel that we feel this place of home or sacredness inside of us. And then we expand out and we inhale from this space. We feel joy and space and light and love. But each time we exhale, we gather back in. We find this anchor, this place of home or sacred space within us on each exhalation. And when you're ready, just gently let the eyes open. Pleasure to practice each of you. Thank you for being here. Take your time to transition